Okay. While DeAndre's coming up, I'll just make a couple comments about the game. One, I want to thank the people of Los Angeles. What a great crowd. Unbelievable. Stayed late. Full house. Terrific. Really unbelievable. Thank you for that. I thought that our opponents played really hard. Obviously, we're more talented than them, but they played and I thought we played harder. And we played hard the whole game. We talked about it this morning at a tape session, trying to get better. And we said not to pace ourselves, especially on the defensive end. And our guys did that. And we really played hard. And then we shared the ball well, have 29 assists on 41 buckets. So we should have won, but the way we won was excellent. So if you all have any questions of me or DeAndre.
If you'll wait for the mic, please, and just we'll circulate it around.
This question is for DeAndre. You played against the leader of the Chinese national basketball team, Yi Jianlian, also Zhou Qi, who just entered the Houston Rockets with this year's draft night. Could you comment about their performances tonight?
And those guys are extremely talented. Obviously, we know Yi. He's played in the league for a while, and I had the opportunity to play against him. He's super talented, and obviously he's the leader of that team. And the young fella, he's going to be really good. He can really shoot the basketball. He's long, he's tall, he can handle it. So those guys have a lot of talent on their team. So I'm looking forward to it.
Question for DeAndre. When you started off the game, you had a big block to start off, and then that sequence where you ran down with the alley-oop. That's what you do here all the time for Clipper games? Were you trying to make a statement out here, just the home crowd, and setting the tone?
Yeah, well, Coach told me if I didn't do anything in the first 30 seconds, I was coming out. So I tried to do something. No,
that's a consistent rule, by the way. It's not just an LA rule.
No, I was just being myself, trying to limit those guys to one shot and make it tough, and then the other end just run and be myself and just help us out any way I can.
DeAndre, we haven't had a chance to talk to you since you got named to the team. What's this experience been like for you? And I'm curious, for Coach, what's it been like to coach DeAndre and get to know him a little better through this process?
Well, for me, man, it's a huge honor. A lot of the guys on this team have a lot to prove. And it's bigger than the Clippers. It's bigger than Duke. It's bigger than everything. It's a huge honor to be representing your country. I've dreamt about this since I was a kid, watching the Dream Team, watching guys like that. So it's amazing to be a part of, especially with a great group of guys like this.
Yeah, for me, as much as I've seen him on TV, I've never seen him in person. And then so this week, just to learn about him, and as good as I thought he was on TV and on tape, he's better. He's really, I think, one of the great players in the league right now, and an amazing teammate. He does dirty work willingly, but he does it at the highest level. And I think he's a special player. And I talked to a few people on his team, his coach and JJ. And JJ said he's as good a teammate as you'll ever have, and one of the best guys, and he wasn't wrong.
Stephen Herbert, City News Service. Mike, how would you compare your team's play to Friday, and how would you compare China's play to Argentina's play on Friday?
Well, we got better today. I think we are learning more about one another, and our defense was there pretty much the whole game, and so we got better. We shared the ball even better, and they're two different teams. Argentina has 4 guys who've played. If you had their international experience, they probably played, I bet, 800 to 1,000 games for their country. Here, the Chinese team is a younger team. Yi is an outstanding player, but The other guys, I was impressed with China's ball pressure and denial defense. They played really hard, and I thought defensively, well, they just our offense and our athleticism, that's a little bit too much for them.
Let's go all the way back. Far back in the green.
It's a two-part question for Coach. Coach, you was the head coach for 2008 Beijing Olympic. Did you see any difference between that China team and this China team? The second part is, did any Chinese player impress you with this game?
Well, I'll take the second one first. They all impressed me because I like when people play hard and they play together. And so they didn't have a guy out there who didn't play hard and together. In 2008, they had this center, I forget his name, he's Yao Ming, who's not a bad player, and a great guy. What a great sportsman for the world, and a great representative for his great country. And if you remember that game that we played, I think maybe the most watched game ever, by a number of people, and what an event that was, and how well the Olympics and basketball in particular was hosted by the Chinese. It was an honor to play against them then, and it's an honor for us to play against them now.
This is for Coach K, Eric Pingus, Basketball Insiders. How are you doing on finding a rotation? Is this an experiment? I see you're going with your starters.
No experiment. We're trying to get the guys to be able to play with everyone, because you don't know what to expect. Look, Kevin Durant, there's a good chance he'll be on the court, late in the game, and we have a pretty even team, but then there are a few guys who, especially offensively, that can carry a big load. One thing we did today was we used Paul at the point, and his ball pressure was amazing. And he and Clay, we have different. I'm trying to learn a little bit more about him. So even though, not that Paul would start at the point, but even if he's in with Kyrie, maybe he takes the point, stuff like that. So we're trying to figure that out. But our switching, because we have so many versatile players, is I think going to be a real strength for us. I don't know if rotate. Again, it's not going to be. We've pretty good on minutes today for everybody. It won't be that way because it's never that way. It can't be that way, and but we'll see. We'll just see how it keeps developing. We're really growing together as a group well, so I want to keep that going.
Coach, talk about the balance of scoring. I noticed in the beginning.
Why don't you hold the mic and let her hold your camera? No, I'm just. As a coach, I was looking for versatility.
There you go.
Just to see if the two of you could work together like that.
We're trying. Gary George.
Really, after coaching, what do you think of when you're asked the question? Sometimes, anyway.
Well, anyways, Gary George, Inland Valley News. Coach, talk about the dynamics of the scoring. In the beginning, you guys were, it was a close game. But when KD started hitting threes and Clay started hitting threes, it opened it up. So talk about as far as the balance of inside-outside kind of performance.
Well, in the first game against Australia, the thing that opened it up was the offensive rebounding and inside scoring of DeMarcus and DeAndre. And so this game, it was the outside shooting. So it shows that if we have some scoring slumps where it's not going in, that we can come at it in different ways. But look, those two guys are two of the best shooters in the world. So our guys want them to get shots. And it's neat when they do shoot that the whole bench wants that to happen. And hopefully they keep hitting.
Hi, Mike. Mark Medina, LA Daily News. This is a little off topic, but just when you...
It's all right. We're buddies.
We go way back, right?
Yeah, way back.
Yeah, you reflect on 2008, 2012. What memories stick with you when you reflect on the time coaching Kobe?
Yeah, I'm not in a reflective mood. And see, we're going someplace that I'm not. But I don't want to think back. Or think ahead. I want to think about right now. And those were honors. They were outstanding teams. This team has a chance to be really good and have its own identity, especially defensively. And we have to put all of our focus on that. And that's what I'm trying to do. Yeah, we're not playing zone, so just... What's that? Jim has helped us out immensely. You know, Jim is one of the great coaches and a great friend.
Obviously, it didn't last, but what's the mood like on the bench when it takes more than half a quarter for the offense to get going? What's the conversation like among the coaches?
Well, yeah, I don't think there's any coach that likes not to see the ball go in, you know, because there's a part of all of us that say, will it? And, I mean, that I don't care what team you're coaching, you would feel that way. But it wasn't like our guys were taking bad shots or that we stopped playing. Sometimes when you're not scoring, you don't play defense. So that's a cool thing today is that we didn't score right away, but we played really good defense. And then, like the question a few questions ago, you know, KD and Clay come in and boom, boom, boom. It was there. So, but, you know, we do have some alternatives in bringing guys off the bench to do that.
Do you ever worry?
Yeah, I worry all the time. Believe me, I worry. It's part of being a coach is to worry. Worry does not mean not have confidence. Worry is making sure that we're keep moving along, we keep giving positive energy to one another, no one gets hurt, and all that type of thing. And so that's what we're doing. You know, this group has been a fabulous group to coach. Like, none of the teams we've coached have worked harder defensively than this team. I'm not saying we didn't play hard in those, but this team is really playing hard. It's fun to watch.
This is for DeAndre. So I know it's definitely, an honor regardless to be playing USA, for your team. But with the fragile state our country is in, the Olympics is a special time for everyone to come together, no matter who they are, to root for one team and, one common goal. So every time you step onto the court, wearing your jersey, does it give you a different meaning this time?
It definitely does. Just to be able to have the honor to be even thought about to represent our country, to represent a whole country, not just an organization. It's crazy to think about, and it's really humbling. And to be able to be out here with a great coaching staff and a great group of guys who are just really great character guys, and to play for something that represents our country, that's it's huge. It's a big thing to be a part of.
DeAndre, you touched on it a little bit there, but about 10 years ago, you got to represent the country in the FIBA Under-19 games. What memories do you have from that? And now, almost 10 years later, does it make it almost more special because you realize that this doesn't come around very often? Yeah, it makes me sound old 10 years ago, but it was great then, and it's even better now. We played in Serbia. That was a really good time. We ended up coming in getting silver, so I don't want that feeling again. This time I want it to be different, and I want to win it with these guys. We've only been together for a week, but it seems like we've been teammates for years, and it's great. It's great to be around.
Jack Dolgen, The Chronicle. For Coach K, can you talk a little bit about Kyrie's growth since 2014, and also, I know he had a limited career 11 games at Duke, but what impact do you think he has had, if at all, on the program?
No, he's had a huge impact on our program. When any of the elite NBA players come from your school, it has an impact positively on your program. Kyrie was the MVP of the 2014 World Cup, and he's gotten better. When you go through the experience of, first of all, fighting off of an injury, he had an injury and where he wasn't able to play in the playoffs, and then to win the whole thing, I think he's as good a guard as there is, and I think his teammates feel the same way. But he's a guy that wants to share the ball. He's real smart, and he's a good guy. You know, like these guys are good guys, so that helps a lot. And Kyrie's a really good guy.
We'll go with 3 more questions here.
Avery Jordan, Our Weekly News. This is for Coach. What's it like for you relating to the younger players? I know times are always changing.
Saying I'm old? They're all younger players.
Well, no, just young players come in every year. What's it like?
Oh, at Duke?
No. I'm talking about for Team USA.
Yeah, well, a lot of these guys are a little bit older. Someone just celebrated his 28th birthday. He got old right in front of our eyes, and this is a easy group to get along with, and we get along because we tell each other the truth, and we goof around a little bit, and think it's been fun for me, and they laugh at my jokes. They might laugh at me once I leave, and after. You don't do that.
No, I would never do that.
All right, thanks. You see, the 30-second rule is still in existence. No, we get along well, and it keeps you young, by being around these guys. Oof.
I spotted some of the women's team in the building this evening. Brittany Griner, Sue Bird. Will you guys be turning out to support them as well?
Well, we do support them. We'll share a plane with them going down to Rio, from Houston when we out process. And then, really, our guys over the last 2 Olympics have watched a lot of other sports. It just depends on your schedule. That's all. But they know we support them. But they're all good friends. Gino and I are good friends, and we're part of USA basketball. The men's and the women's teams. So. We support them as much as we can.
Hi, this is Ramona Shelburne with ESPN. I guess a question for both of you. These first 2 games haven't been all that competitive, 40, 50-point games. Do you need to get challenged at some point on this tour before Rio?
Well, I hope we're never challenged, but there have been challenging points of each game. And a huge thing is for us just to get to know one another, but also how the game is called. The rules, the ball. You can tell with some of our guys, the ball still, it's not, it doesn't have the feel yet. And so that's another thing that, it's a challenge just to adapt to the game. But, it's been good. And look, we have no control over that. So,
I piggyback off what Coach said. I think a lot of the times we're thinking about the opponent, but with only 5 games over, we need to really work on ourselves. I think a lot of it has to do with us getting better as a team, and then whoever we play, we'll be ready.
Thank you.
All right. Thank you.